Today we are going to be doing a feel-good Pilates mat session. So this Pilates mat session is meant to be either a recovery session, maybe it's a morning stretch or an evening stretch session for you. Maybe you're traveling, whether it's for work, whether it's vacation, and you're feeling kind of tight in your body. This session is going to help to alleviate any of those common areas of tightness in your back, in your hips, and ultimately help you feel good at the end of 10 minutes. My name is Laura. If you're new to my page, I'm a certified Pilates instructor and personal trainer. And for this Pilates mat session, you are not going to need anything at all. I'm even going to be doing this on my carpet so that you know that you can be doing this in your hotel room or your Airbnb. And of course, if you're in one of those spaces, you're more than welcome to put down a towel or a blanket to get started. We are going to start in a seated position. If you're someone with a tight lower back, you might want to grab a pillow or two so that your bottom is elevated higher than your feet, and that's going to help you to get a little bit more range of motion. But other than that, let's go ahead and get seated in a crisscross position. So started in this crisscross position, we're going to go into a seated rotation. You're going to take an inhale, reach your hands upwards towards the sky. And then on your exhale, we're going to twist to the left-hand side. As we twist to the left, your right hand comes across your right knee and you give yourself a little extra stretch. Exhale out. Inhale, reach your arms upwards towards the ceiling. Exhale, turn to the left side. Your left hand comes to your right knee. You deepen that twist. We inhale, reach the hands back up, squeezing the stomach in, getting length through the spine. A little bit faster now. Exhale, twist to the side. Inhale, reach the arms, pull the stomach in. Exhale, twist to the side, using that arm on your leg to get you a little bit deeper. Inhaling back up. We're going to do this 3 more sets, 6 more altogether. Exhale out. See if you can push the knees downwards towards the ground to help you sit up a little bit taller. Connecting that movement to breath. That inhale is also going to help you to stretch out a little bit more of your mid-back as those lungs expand. We've got 1 more rotation to the left side. 1 more rotation towards our right-hand side. Meet me back center. From here, we're going to come into a seated mermaid. Take your left hand, connect it to the ground. Your right hand's going to lift up. Big inhale. Exhale. Push the left hand along the floor as you side bend over. Bring yourself back up. Exchange the arms. Inhale. Exhale, side bend over. The right hand drags along the floor as you reach the hand to the side. Restack your spine up. Switch the hands. Exhale. Reach over to the side. Restack back up. Inhale, switch. Exhale. Push that top hand up and over, helping you get that stretch through your lat. Restack yourself back up. Now getting a little bit into the nitty-gritties of the exercise. As you reach over to the side, you want your hips to stay grounded onto the mat. And that's going to help you to get a little bit more of a stretch through your side lats. So as I come over to my right-hand side, my left hip tries to stay a little bit more grounded to the floor. And then I restack up, switching the hands. As I side bend over, I try to stay in between 2 planes of glass here. Restack up, shoulder stack over the hips, switch the hands. My low stomach pulls inwards towards my lower back to help keep it away from curving. I want a lengthened spine, and then restack up, switch. We're gonna do 1 more time each side. The hand across the floor is kind of creating a little bit of friction so that that bottom shoulder stays engaged down away from the ear. Restack up, switch. The top hand is still plugged into my shoulder as I find that reach, so I feel more of that stretch through my side waist. Restack back up, relax the hands. Now we're going to quarter turn so that you have some space behind you. Once you have space behind you for rolling like a ball, hug the knees a little bit tighter towards your chest. Your heel bones come a little bit tighter towards your booty. Relax the shoulders down away from the ears. Rise up to the tiptoes that will slightly lean you backwards, and then find your balance with your feet. As you're balancing here, check in with your shoulders. Have they risen up? Big inhale as you roll back. Exhale, roll yourself up, and you want to be seated behind your butt bone so we still keep that C curve in your spine. Inhale, round yourself back. Exhale, takes you forward. You try to keep your heel bones inwards towards your bottom, and that's going to help you to work a little bit more of your abdominals. I like my hands to the front of my shins because that helps to keep me from kicking my feet out. But you might prefer hands underneath your knees if you're someone that happens to have a little bit tighter hips. So play around with that. Hands to the front of the shins, hands behind your thigh bones. See which one works for you. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Your biceps are engaged to help pull your arms into your back. We've got 2. And then on 1, we are gonna end laying down on our back. So once you finish that final roll, you roll yourself all the way down into a laying down position. And then we're laying down onto our back. Bring those feet a little bit tighter inwards towards your bottom. For me, I choose about feet heels in line with my fingertips because I'm reaching them long. You've got those heels in line with your butt bone. Bridging. We're gonna articulate the spine up so the tailbone tucks under. Start to restack your spine upwards towards the ceiling. Pause here. Push into the floor a little bit more. Stretch your knees a little bit more forward. It's going to help you to find a little bit more stretch in the hip flexors. Pull the stomach in from higher than your belly button, and then start to restack your spine back down. So we're going to go rib cage, middle back, lower back, tailbone, and then allow that tailbone to relax. We tuck the tailbone underneath us, pelvic tilt, low belly pulls in as you start to re-stack upwards towards the ceiling. We lift up, pause here, see if you can pull your heels to your butt bones a little bit more, finding that hip flexor stretch, and then start to roll yourself back down, rib cage, middle back, lower back, then tailbone. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, roll up, inhale at the top, little pause. Exhale, roll yourself on down. Rib cage, middle back, lower back, tailbone. For me, as I teach my clients this, I always like to emphasize more of the rolling down because that is when people's spines tend to get a little bit more finicky, especially if you have a tight lower back. You're going to miss out on that middle back trying to roll down. So as you find that pause at the top, that spot above your belly button, just south of your rib cage, see if you can pull that into you a little bit tighter, and then that's going to help you to find a little bit more of that mid-back articulation. We're going to be here for 2 more times. And then on your last time, we roll down, ending with our hips onto the mat. Once you got your hips onto the mat, let's come up back into a seated position. And when we come back into the seated position, we're going to swing our legs around so that we are now in an all fours position. Now this one might be new to you. It's called an adductor rock. We come from this all fours position and reach one of your legs out to the side. For me, I have my right leg out. My back toe is going to be tucked underneath me, hands underneath the shoulders, relaxing the shoulders down your back. Now we're going to sink back towards our heel bone that stretches your back foot, and it also stretches the inner thigh on the right side or the leg that's out. And then you're going to bring yourself back up into that all fours position. As we stretch, we exhale. Find that relaxation. Inhale, find yourself back forward. Stretch on the exhale helps to relax that nervous system, and then resist back in and up. Now here, since this is a little bit more of an active stretch, we don't want to force our body deeper than where it wants to go. Stretching, there's a little bit of discomfort, but I always tell my clients on a scale of 1 to 10, it's about a 4. We don't want to overstretch anything. One more time here. And then once you finish that final one, bring the knee back into you. I'm going to turn around so that you can see what I'm doing. You can just stick your leg out to the other side if you have room. Sticking the left leg out this time. Now your footprint is connected into the entire floor for the leg that's sticking out. Back toe for your bent knee is going to be tucked under like it would be for a plank position. Finding that plank position through your upper body, we push the ground away from us, dropping downwards towards our knee, or towards our elbows, and then coming back up into that quadruped position. Exhale as you sink backwards. And then resist yourself back in. Now you might find that you might be able to feel like you go back further on one side than the other side. Totally okay, totally natural. We always have one side that is more dominant than the other. So maybe when you're sitting, while you're driving, sitting at the office, you notice that you sit more to one butt cheek than the other. Maybe you always lead with one side first when you take the stairs. There's always going to be some areas of discrepancies in our body. We just bring awareness to it, and maybe on the side that feels tighter than you just do a couple extra repetitions. We're going to be here for 2 more times. And then once you finish your final one, we come up into that all fours position once again. Once you're in this all four position, you can stay on your hands if your wrists feel good and healthy, or you can come down to your elbows. I'm going to stay on my hands. Step your feet backwards into a plank position, and now we're in our plank to pike. Press through your hands or your elbows, lifting your hips up to the sky. Look in between your legs, and then scoop the stomach in, shift your weight forward, coming back into that plank position. Exhale, pull the stomach in, shift back into your pike. Inhale, lengthen the spine. You look forward towards the floor, finding that long line position. Exhale, push. Inhale, forward. As we pike the hips, you're stretching the calves, you're stretching your lower back. And then as you come back forward, you're resetting, working that core. We're going to be here for a few more times. I'm going to show you that forearm position. If you're ready to come down, if you need to come down, your crown of the head comes downwards towards the floor, and then your crown of the head reaches long. You look in between your hands. So that would be your modification there. Otherwise, we're on those palms so that it's helping to strengthen our wrists, strengthen our shoulders, strengthen our core. Last one here. You'll settle those knees downwards towards the ground. Once we settle the knees downwards to the ground, modification would be to have your hands on, or your knee, onto the floor for a hip flexor stretch. Or we're going to tuck the toes underneath you. And from here, you're stretching through the back of the hip flexor. And then you're stretching through the front of the hamstring, looking in and towards the knee. Right knee bends. You come into that runner's lunge. Right leg straightens, you find that hamstring stretch. You try to keep your hips square to the floor when you're in your runner's lunge. You try to keep your hips square to your hands as you're in that hamstring stretch. Now, if you're in that low kneeling position, like I gave you the option, you're going to reach your hands upwards towards the sky, finding that hip flexor stretch without arching your back. And then you're going to sit back towards your foot, finding the hamstring stretch. So you have 2 options here. Kneeling position, you rise up with the hands, open up the chest, looking up at the sky. Hands come backwards towards the floor. And then you find that hamstring stretch through your right hip. We're going to go 2 more times here. And then once you finish your final one, we'll all meet with the knee to the ground. Sweep the right leg back. Step the left leg forward. Once that left foot is forward, you either come into that modified hip flexor stretch to hamstring stretch, or we're going to raise that back knee, lift it from the floor. Hip flexor stretch here, opening up that chest proud to hamstring stretch. I do like to try to work up towards this runner's lunge to hamstring because it is relatable to one of our exercises that we see on the reformer. So if you're someone that does reformer Pilates, it's good to practice that in this mat position as well, because it's going to help you to strengthen the glute, to help you practice for your standing front splits or your back splits on the reformer. We're going to be here for 2 more times. And then after your last one, you're going to come up to a standing position. Meet your right foot to your left foot. Come up to a standing position for me. Once you're in that standing position, your legs are going to be tethered together, or you can take them hip width apart for a little bit more of a stable surface. Coming into our standing roll downs, take your hands upwards towards the sky. Your biceps are by your ears. Big inhale. On the exhale, tuck your chin to your chest, roll yourself down, hang your head heavy, shift your weight a little bit more towards your toes. So you can inflate your spine like an angry cat back a little bit more, and then start to roll yourself back up. We go tailbone, lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulders, head, and arms come up to the sky. We go again. Chin to chest, scoop the stomach in, dive off an imaginary diving board, reaching the head downwards towards the ground. At the bottom here, relax the head even more. See if you can lift the spine upwards towards the sky without actually starting to stack up. And then start to roll yourself up. Tailbone, lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulders, head, hands. We go again 2 more times. Chin to chest, exhale, roll it down. Hang the head heavy. Inhale, restack back up. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Squeeze your bottom, lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulders, head, arms. Last time, exhale, reach it forward, shifting the weight to the toes. And then we come back up. Pulling the stomach in, restacking against our imaginary wall, reaching our hands forward and off our back, upwards towards the sky. Once we have our hands upwards towards the sky, turn the palms to face out. Exhale, pulls the stomach in, brings the hands down to your hips, and then you end as your tallest self for the day or for the evening, and your body should feel good, relaxed, and mobile after that session. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Lets me know that you'd like to see more videos like this. And if you're not already subscribed to my page, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can get notifications on when I put more workout videos on. I do a mix of mat and equipment-based Pilates. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see more of, if you have any specific things that you're working towards. And you can also connect with me on Instagram, laura.melgar.fitness, and send me a message through the DMs if you want to keep that conversation a little bit more private and not on the YouTube comments. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.